Good evening, Mrs. Green. Thank you for making it so soon. I am so sorry. I know it's the end of your shift and you were on your way home, but I spilled coffee on the desk and need to complete a customer presentation in the next 20 minutes. Would it be too much of trouble if you could clean it up for me now, Mrs. Green?
That's okay, Neil. I have been working here for nearly 7 years now. I started off as a cleaning lady and I am now on admin staff. But I still don't mind doing what I used to do earlier.
Wow, Mrs. Green. Truly there's a lot even I need to learn from you. You are always on time and you never take leaves. And I always see you smile despite your personal problems.
That's okay, Neil. I am just doing my job the best I can. Mrs. Green, I would want to take leave on Thursday and Friday. I know you were gracious enough to swap your 2 off days to take up my shift time, but my son is down with high fever. There is none to take care of him. I will promise to adjust sometime next week. That's okay, dear. I will fill in for you on those 2 days. You just take care of your son. We can work out on that shift time later. Mrs. Green, I don't know how to thank you. I asked the rest of the staff but they wouldn't budge. Truly you're an angel. Jessica dear, that's not a problem at all.
Hernandez, I am really unhappy with the way things are in the company ever since I took over as the CEO.
What is it, Mr. Jerry? Can you be more specific so we can address these issues?
Mr. Hernandez, the business is down. We have not had any good deals. Our internal projects are stagnating. This is starting to show on our revenue and investors are getting edgy. We need to focus on business. I want you to go and sort this out with your division. I also need you to see how we can cut costs. After all, end of the day, you are the operations head and it is your responsibility.
Sure, Mr. Jerry. That will be on top of my head and the first task I will take up with the head of department tomorrow.
Okay, Hernandez. Get me a report by this weekend. I will present it in front of the investors. I am trusting you on this. Don't let me down. Good night.
Neil, Mr. Jerry spoke to me yesterday night.
At night? What was it about? Anything urgent?
Neil, the business is down. We have not had any good deals. Our internal projects are stagnating. This is starting to show on our revenue and investors are getting edgy. We need to focus on business. I want you to go and sort this out with our division. After all, end of the day, you are the department head and it is your responsibility.
What do you want me to do, Mr. Hernandez?
I do not like the way you work. You make independent decisions without consulting me.
Mr. Hernandez, during my mid-year appraisal in June you told me to take independent decisions and not keep waiting for suggestions from you.
That was a different context, Neil. Oh, Neil, you simply don't understand how business or projects run. Also, I don't understand the delays in your project. Why is the CRM user manual project delivery getting delayed?
That's because all the resources got shifted to LDM Learning Project. Existing 3 resources left for better pay and bright future.
Then, why didn't you find replacements? Isn't that your job?
No, I think that's what Samer's recruitment team does. And by the way, I did refer 3 candidates to you. One you could not afford, the second you didn't move fast enough and she got another job. The last, she got such bad feedback from ex-employees, she didn't even come to take the entry test.
Neil, I think you are giving excuses. This is not done. I want a plan for rollout of the rest of the training program. You find the resources.
Sure. Whatever you say, Mr. Hernandez.
By the way, Neil, what do you think of Mrs. Green?
Mrs. Green is a very dedicated and hard-working employee. What about her?
Mr. Jerry spoke to me last night and wanted to know your opinion on staff realignments. can we realign Mrs. Green's duties so she can take up the role of training coordination?
What? How can she fit that role? She's an administrative staff. What will she do in training? Absolutely not.
Well, Neil, as part of cost-cutting measures we may have to either realign her duties or ask her to leave.
Oh, that's terrible. Does she know about it? She just celebrated the completion of 7 years yesterday. But how are you going to break this news to her, Mr. Hernandez?
This is where you come in, Neil. You need to tell her either to upskill or leave the organization.
What? But she is an administrative staff and comes under her. Won't she be the one telling her this?
Well, she was transferred to your division yesterday. Didn't you get the email?